Howdy folks and welcome. Me and Smoky Joe here again.
Cheers.
And before we start, we've got some massive news. It's the end of an era, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, end of an era. I've left Match Fishing Magazine, DHP.
What a sad day.
Yeah, mixed emotions, of course.
How long have you been there? How long?
Nearly 9 years.
Right. Editor for how long?
2 years. So
2
26
years
issues I've done.
Yeah. And I will say, the
fair.
mag was brilliant when you read it.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of people enjoyed it, a lot of good comments, but these things come to an end, don't they?
What are you doing now then?
So I've joined Preston Innovations as content creator, so all the nice little videos and stuff you see, well, I hope they're nice anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
you're trying your best.
Trying my best, yeah.
Right,
so new era.
Massive move.
Yeah.
Obviously, enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. I've been there 2 weeks now.
Right.
So time's flying.
Yeah.
And good start. Enjoying it.
We'll look at a couple of little bits of kit.
Yeah, because I've brought you some nice little exclusives in here.
Goodies in straight away. First of all, let's talk about results. Have you been fishing?
No, I've had a big one show. Went with Macca to the Golden Rod final.
Yeah.
He did brilliant. He was fifth on second.
He won a bit of money then.
Yeah, he was fifth in the match on the second day, so he absolutely loved it.
Yeah, obviously Steve won the event. Obviously, hats off to him. Brilliant result.
He does what he does, doesn't he?
Does what he does. Yeah, I imagine he's chucked his hybrid feed around, caught plenty of fish doing that.
Brilliant, yeah. So well done, Steve.
Yeah, well done, Steve. I've had 2 events worth talking about.
Yeah.
First one is the Iberian Masters.
Yeah, you finally went.
Obviously,
I've been teasing for weeks.
So excited about going. Talk about that. But first of all, I've got to tell you that I managed to sneak on a match at Preston.
See, this is quite interesting because of what you chucked out, based on our last video, what we discussed.
Yes. Well, we were discussing about hybrid feeder versus method feeder. I got to my peg, and I just thought it's worth giving this method feeder a proper go.
Because let's be honest, you caught loads on that.
Thousands of fish over the years, but obviously I fell into this hybrid feeder trap quite recently. So I thought, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this method feeder a proper go. So that's all I put up. That's all I set up. Method feeders, and I've ended up. I'm not saying this is the magic ingredient, changing from feeder, but it's obviously caught fish. I've ended up winning the match, catching some beautiful fish, just under £100, 97, £98, something like that. Brilliant days fishing for cold weather, cold water conditions.
What did you use on the other?
I used a combination of little tiny wafters and expander pellets. So
mix the new and the old.
Mixing it up a little bit, and the rest of it was sort of standard method feeder kit. 018 hook length, big up, twice 12 up, standard Boston gear. What I think while we're here, I've got some pellets out.
Yeah.
I'll show the guys how I prepare my pellets
in real time.
So when we finish talking, hopefully they'll be perfectly done. So
because we want to give a few tips to the guys.
We want to give a few tips to everybody out there. So first things first, you get your pellets. I will watch you, don't worry about that. I've just put this glass down on Jamie Hughes' head, unfortunately.
First time he's probably been used as a beer mat. So what pellets were you using?
These are carp pellets, standard carp pellets. These are the XL carp pellets.
Yeah.
And my mix, and it's a lot of, I suppose it's quite a common mix now for a lot of people, is to mix the standard carp pellets with something a little bit special. So I do, it's not a massive exact science. I do sort of like 60%, 2/3 basically of the carp pellets, and then you've got these beauties. And obviously how sweet these are.
Yeah,
they smell beautiful.
Smell. Nice colour.
Nice colour. And at Boston I was expecting to catch quite a few skimmers.
Yeah.
So I thought, add some of these. I know they're great for skimmers. And the day I only caught one skimmer.
Loads of people are on these.
There was loads of carp in there. So these go in. Now, depending on the time of year, I think these could be a little bit too potent. So I only go with sort of like a third.
Smell them now, and you only
of these. Yeah, they're super sweet, really nice pellet. But I just think that with the water temperature still being pretty cold, I probably only want to go, a third of them. Right. So F1 sweets and those XLs in there. You can probably see. Get the little GoPro in there, right? See them in there.
Yeah.
Mix them up. And this is the important thing for me. I get one of these EVA bowls with a nice zip-up lid.
Yeah.
And what I do is, before I set off to the venue, put my pellets in there, grab some water. I've got some water already down there, trying to spill it on Dan's cap. And then, and this is just so simple, right? Add in the water.
Ooh.
Add in the water without spilling.
So you've not put loads of water in there?
I've not put loads of water in there. When I swill it round, hopefully on the GoPro you can see.
Yeah.
You can just see water poking through. But trying a bit more water in there actually. The pellets now that we're using are so easy to soak up. It's unreal. They're not turning into mush like
Pellets of yesteryear.
they were a few years ago. They're soaking up beautifully. So you can just see the water in there poking through the pellets, and every pellet is properly soaked. And the reason I like to just
Are you just going to leave them?
what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip the lid up. That's why I just like that. You could use a bait to wheel lid, I suppose. I have this is my dedicated sort of pellet tub. Give it a shake. There you go. You see actually the colour on it. You can see the colour leaching on top. Give it a shake. There you go. Chuck it in the back of the van.
Brilliant.
And hopefully, when you get to the venue or when we're finished talking about all your brand new shiny kit, they'll be absolutely bang.
Yeah, it's worth saying because I went out with Lee Carey yesterday and we were soaking pellets, and because the water suddenly dropped in temperature, it took a lot longer to soak pellets yesterday. So you've got to bear in mind about the temperature of the water.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit anal about soaking my pellets. I actually use. I don't like using tap water. So I use lake water or
bottled
bit of bottled water before I set off at the venue. So that's just my personal
preference.
Yeah, preference. So there you go.
As simple as that.
Water in there, pellets in there. Shake it up. Leave them for as long as you can.
It's easy.
20 minutes time, we'll open them up, and there should be absolutely spot.
So you've used them, rounder method.
Yeah.
What size? Preston?
Little method feeder, yeah, one little Preston method feeders.
5 gram?
I've used a 30 gram.
30 gram.
The wind was absolutely blowing a gale. I've used an 11-foot rod. I've got some beautiful 11-foot rods at the minute, and the cast beautiful, but they've still got a through action. They're a CTX, a Free Spirit CTX rod, and with a £4 mainline, that M-Tech stuff, which is £4, but it probably as you mic it up, if you mic that £4 up, it's probably the same as sort of other companies' £3.
Yeah.
So it's super thin, it flows through the rings effortlessly. The important thing for me is it sinks really well, because when you've got so much line out in the water and you want to sink your line, you want it to go down quick. Because if you get a big bow in your line, it's going to pull your feeder off, especially. So
you're trying to be as direct as possible,
as direct as possible. And the wind was absolutely horrendous. 12-pound shot leader, the same stuff, that M-Tech, that MIDI M-Tech. And that was about it really. I fished at 60 metres, which for a lot of people...
What peg was you on?
I was on peg 12.
Yeah.
So I can just...
It can throw up, can't it?
Just the corner island. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of decent fish feeding between sort of my peg
you see him boshing out?
And maybe sort of like peg 18, 20. You can see the odd fish boshing out, but it was so windy that I just don't think anything was moving around as much. And like I say, I've had fish sort of like up to maybe £10, £11. Worth mentioning, there was the £27.
Oh, yeah. Simon Ellis had it.
Simon Ellis had it. £27.
What a fish.
Beautiful fish. He didn't really take a proper picture of it, just got a picture of his landing net.
It's a big fish.
Absolutely stunning fish. It's got a scar on it, they call it the scar.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful common, but unfortunately it's got a bit of a scar on it, either from when it was younger or whatever, but beautiful fish. Weird as well, when you consider how windy it was, hardly any skimmers caught.
Yeah.
Whole section was...
That can be a bit poor for skimmers there though, can't it?
It can be, yeah.
It can be carp or nothing there, can't it?
Yeah, and luckily there was a few carp.
So a good result?
Yeah, brilliant result. From there, onto the Iberian Masters.
Yeah.
Actually took my old man. He's never fished abroad before in a competition, so it took me dad because it's so simple. You get there, you can park behind your peg. The organisation is second to none. Food laid on. The hotels, you can't beat it.
Weather's good.
Yeah, weather's good. We actually added up yesterday how much it cost when we were over there, and apart from maybe €30 bait bill, and obviously your pools when you're there, it's cost literally nothing.
Really?
So all of it, all the cost is incurred.
Travelling.
But when you think about it, you can get a flight for sort of like £60 return. You hire a car for peanuts because it's we're not in the peak season.
Did one person drive over then?
One person drove over with our kit. But Jamie Ashton, I know Jamie Ashton, he flew his kit over. A suitcase and a big rod bazooka style holder. Gets it on the plane. That probably costs something like £150 just to get that on the plane. So you can get over there, I'd say,
it's
with
not
your
ridiculous
kit.
then to get there.
No, you can get over there with your kit for sort of like £300. and then you obviously fishing when you're over there. Fishing was slightly better than last year.
So it's wild carp. Well,
the stock carp, but the river carp,
yeah,
they've turned wild, I suppose. And we caught plenty of fish. Had a really good day on the first day of the competition, 3 days competition. Really good day on the first day. Won my section, over the moon. Sort of like, I think I had like 9
flying
fish.
high after the world championship.
Yeah, nine fish. I'm thinking every match I enter, I'm flying. And then second day, just obviously the wheels fell off totally. Chap next to me won the section, and I caught nothing. I come last but one in the whole section.
You texted me while you was there saying, I can't believe how easy it is to get it wrong.
Yeah.
And was that the case then? Little decisions could see you a mile
because
off.
You weren't catching a lot of fish. I'd say between 5 and a dozen fish was mega. That was I'd say that was an average result from most pegs. But if you missed the boat a couple of times, all of a sudden you're down to sort of like 3 fish. Yeah. And if you miss the boat again, you only catch 1 fish. So you had to be on it all the time. And I'll tell you what I did the second day. I come off the bank thinking, I've just done that.
Slightly
wrong, and I think it's because I fished in the wrong place.
At the wrong time?
At the wrong place at the wrong time. And what happened was, I was catching a lot of fish across. I didn't have a plan A. I didn't have a plan B. So I hadn't worked out how to catch fish down the middle or closer in. Yeah. Which a lot of people were getting out of jail with. I hadn't got that. So when my plan A didn't work, that was me. I was snookered.
So third day, was there a comeback?
Well, so second day, I'm out of it, totally out of it. Can't win the competition, can't come anywhere. Cause,
you have a monk on?
Yeah, big time. Yeah. So I didn't speak to anyone. I was unbeaten on the pool table all week.
Right.
Went and played pool that night. Lost 2 games.
No.
First 2 games I'd lost all week.
So you morale.
So basically, I went to bed as early as I could just to get the day over and done with. Next day, got in the draw bag. Full of optimism. I drew exactly the same peg as I did the day before, where I'd come last but one. So, knowing that I was out of it,
thought I'd learn a bit.
I thought when I drew it, I thought, oh no. But then I thought, actually, I can go back and rectify it and maybe learn a bit.
Bearing in mind the section had been won next to it, so.
Of course. So, the section had been won to my left the day before, and the day before I'd actually fished towards that angler, thinking I could maybe get onto a few of his fish. And as it happens, I just don't think that was right. The venue, obviously you might see some pictures of it, it's got massive boulders. Some of them as big as your car, some of them just as big as a bucket or a dining room table. Full of rocks. And I'm pretty sure that you could cast your feeder into one spot, feel it down, in your head you're thinking it's fishing perfectly, but you're not quite fishing perfectly. Or it might have, that big boulder might throw the fish's patrol route out of kilter.
Yeah.
So it has to actually swim over or swim round, and a group of fish might not just even want to settle.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. So I thought, I'll fish in a different spot.
Yeah.
Fish to the right in this peg this time. So instead of fishing at sort of 11 o'clock, I fished at 1 o'clock on a clock face. And I've caught my fish. Come 5th in the section. Nice day. I've only been beat by a few grams for sort of like 3rd in the section.
So loads better day.
Loads better day. Interesting fishing. It was all sticky mag fishing.
Yeah.
Ram the bait in the feeder.
No corn or anything like that.
Bottom weight feeder. Not really. I didn't think there was much corn fishing at all. Yeah. Ram the bait in the feeder. Chuck it out. Sort of sit on your hands. I know talking to Tommy Picker, he caught some fish.
He did really well, didn't he?
On a couple of days. Yeah, he had a bad last day, but he was waiting sort of like 20 minutes for a bite. Whereas I can't physically do that. So
Tommy's brilliant at that, and
he can really bore a fish on, Tommy can. Whereas I have to sort of be in and out a little bit more. So you chuck out, your tip would stay absolutely motionless, then all of a sudden, with no warning whatsoever, it just tows round. And you're on your rod as fast as you can, picking it up, because obviously you're trying to get away from the rocks. Really good week.
Go again next year?
Yeah, I'll go again next year. Obviously, got to see what else is on the calendar around that time, if there's any sort of international stuff going on.
But well worth a trip.
But I think well worth a trip. And just to sample other styles of fishing. But you meet loads of different people as well. The amount of people I've met just by going on these competitions, I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
That's brilliant, especially for your international fishing. Getting used to that sort of carp fishing with barbed hooks, big hooks.
That's it. Yeah,
mag,
50 centimetre hook lengths.
It's invaluable. Isn't
it? You can't really replicate that in this country, can you?
That's invaluable.
Yeah. Talk to me about. We've got it all laid out. You've been there 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
talk to me about bits and bobs that
Right,
you see.
I need
the things
to
you're
talk to
excited
you about. There's a few products I'm really excited about.
Because this is your new brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Preston hoodie.
Preston
stuff, the
kit, that's on
Sonu.
you. I'm Preston up. Two things. Start with Sonu, because obviously we launched the patches.
Yeah.
Everyone's got on this.
So tell everyone, though, because unless you're in the know, you don't really know about Thatchers and where it's actually come
Thatchers is a shop down, I think it's Wells, something like that, down south. And the guy there, Rodney, made his own mix, Thatchers, and it's been like a legendary cult mix.
20 years ago?
20 years cult mix. And we've got the recipe now, and we're producing it on the mass scale. So that's the one everyone's been interested in. But I want to tell you about this one.
Right.
That might not have had the same amount of press, but it's the one that I think I'll end up using the most.
Okay.
And I love that F1 Dark.
Right.
And super sweet is F1 Dark tweaked a bit, twice the strength.
Right.
So
you say twice the strength.
Sweetness.
The sweetness is twice as strong. Okay.
Twice as strong, which F1 Dark's a lovely sweet mix anyway.
Yeah.
And this is.
I'm just smelling that. It's quite chocolatey as a smell.
It's actually caramel.
Is it?
But it's just beautiful. I've used that already. Lee was using it at Ferry Meadows the other day when we went.
Right.
Brilliant. So that's the Sonia Bates stuff.
Okay.
Have a little look at that and brilliant. But we've got a bit of an exclusive.
Right. So we've ticked the Sonic Bakes.
Tick.
Let's have a look at these because these are quite nice.
So we've got the new Distance Masters.
Yeah.
Distance Master rods have a family of 3 distance rods.
Right.
We've got 3.8 metre, 4 metre, 4.2 metre. Brilliant.
So obviously, everyone's gone mad on distance feeder fishing.
Yeah.
And there's
quite a few. Preston did Dutch Masters.
Yeah, Dutch Masters. Yeah, years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Even more, 11, 12 years ago. And these are our new rods, and to be fair, they're fantastic. Yeah. Massive guides on them. Yeah. The right actions, playing actions, perfect. Handle length.
Right. Because
the
obviously,
biggest thing that
hang on a minute. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
Come on.
Right. Obviously, I work. Use free spirit rods.
Yeah.
For my distance stuff, and the question I get asked all the time.
I know what you're going to say.
Is what are the actions like? Is it a through action? Is it a tip action? How does it compare to a Daiwa SLR? How does it compare to the Dutch Masters? So, because obviously when you talk about these rods, you're not talking about cheap rods.
No, they're high end. Yeah.
So the guys buying these rods need to know everything about these rods before they actually make that purchase. What is the action like? Is it a through action? Is it a tip action? Fast action?
I'm going to call it a compromise action.
Okay.
Because it's got that tippy nature that you need for distance fishing. But I don't know. It's like you've still got that beautiful playing action.
Okay.
So you've still got a bit of through there to play the fish.
Right.
But you've got the power for the cast. You need to try them. Okay. Would be the thing. For the money, they're fantastic.
Okay.
I mean, they're 250 quid plus, so they're not cheap.
Right.
But
is that how much they'll sell for?
Yeah.
Right.
Ish.
Okay.
But
Which I suppose that market is quite competitive when you talk.
Yeah.
There's rods now being sold at over 200 quid, and no one's really batting an eyelid on it.
Preston spent a long time. I've got them. You have to show you in the van. All the prototypes in the van.
Yeah.
And it's taken it's taken them a lot of models to get these right. So at least you know the research and the time's been put into them.
Okay.
Absolutely brilliant. Got to talk you through the tips though.
Yeah, go on, talk us through tips. Because obviously,
because I'm a tip fan.
Yeah.
You're
we
a
all
tip
like
fan.
to. When you think about it, obviously we go mad for pole flows, don't we?
Yeah.
And we've got all different tips. We've got wire tips, hollow tips, solid tips, cane tips, thick tips, thin tips, all that. Because it's all about
your pole flow.
Of course, it's all about bite detection. So we want to be able to detect your bite, no matter how far you're out your fishing.
Yeah.
So the tips are important.
So one thing that I think is a massive move forward, I think, with these rods is the tips. I've had a nightmare with tips over the last few years.
Yeah.
And these are a really, really fast taper tip. They're 3.5 mil, so they will fit other rods as well.
Yeah.
But what they've done, they've built up the rod, so they've actually had to slim it down to fit it into the rod.
Right.
So you've got a thick section here that tapers down really quickly.
It's almost spigoted sort of thing.
Almost like a spigot. But look at the action.
Right.
So really fast
really
taper,
fast.
so the bite detection's superb. But more importantly, when you're casting, you don't get none of this in there.
Yeah, which
causes crack-offs.
Yeah, of course.
These correct themselves really fast.
Yeah. So the free spirit rods I use as hollow tips, correct themselves.
Which
unbelievably
is why
fast.
they're so good for casting.
They're beautiful casting rods.
Yes, because they snap straight.
And obviously still get the indications, because hollow tips work differently
Yeah,
to these.
whereas these, I mean, the bite detection, I mean, look at that. The action's all at the end where you want it.
Yeah.
And I mean, look.
Okay, don't break it.
No, I don't think you can.
How far round do you think we'll take it? Yeah. Not too far, because these are the only ones, aren't they?
Yeah, these are the only ones.
We won't take it too far.
But that just shows you the taper of the tips. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. And I know you've already had a play with these. You got a little bit excited. So
yeah, but obviously big guides on the tip, important for chucking.
Yeah, the guides are
fast tapers.
2, 3, 4 ounce.
Just as a guide, because obviously people maybe don't know about tip diameters. That's 3.5.
Yeah. So that will fit Dutch Masters.
Yeah. What is a superior tip? Are they 2.2s?
I'm not sure.
But they're much thinner, aren't they? I think those superiors are 2.2 mil tips.
Yeah, maybe. I'll put some text in to let everyone know, but they're definitely not that.
No, so that just gives you an idea of how thick that tip actually starts at and then tapers down.
But I mean, they're really, really nice tips.
Yeah, quite a long tip as well, aren't they?
Yeah. But they, like I said, what they did when they were actually developing these rods was analyse slow motion footage.
Right.
So what they're trying to do is obviously, because when you let go of the
there's
cast,
a lot of that.
There's a lot of energy in there, and it's sort of and they were trying their best to get the tapers of the blank right, to get the correction right. So.
Right, obviously, you and Mr. You love these SLRs, they're great, and they're a fantastic rod.
That was brilliant.
Obviously, you'll be using these now, but that's not to any detriment to anything else, is it?
Not,
because I think once you're spending over 200 quid on a rod, they're just brilliant. They're just good bits of kit anyway.
You use some Preston rods. Preston rods are brilliant.
Yeah.
And these are the best Preston rods that they've ever done. And I cannot wait to get my hands on.
Right.
So there you go.
Beautiful.
Distance Masters, check them out. They're coming out end of this month, so they're certainly going to get the old feeder fans warmed up, aren't they?
Yeah, very interesting. Right, and have a look at these pellets.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon they're ready?
Maybe not quite yet. Where are you fishing now?
I'm going to New York.
Yeah, you're going to New York. Actually, they're not far off there.
Yeah, they're alright, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to New York this week, and then I'm going. Feeder Masters campaign starts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
JCB.
I think there's a match this weekend at Decoy.
Decoy tomorrow, yeah.
Right, so we've got the pellets there. We've not done anything with them, but you can see, squeeze into the ball for your method.
Yeah.
You can see how simple they were to prepare, and then when you break, when they're obviously in the water, what you're looking for is them to break down into individual pellets, because what you don't want is you don't want clumps of pellets sticking together, and you can feel them when you squeeze them. They're still pushing against your hand to open up. So obviously, as match anglers, when we chuck in, we want to get a bite as fast as we can. That means your hook bait needs to be exposed as fast as you can, which means your pellets need to break down as fast as they can.
They're spot on, they do, right?
And that
and they smell lovely as well.
Yeah, that's the XL pellets and the MEF1 2 mils. Beautiful mix.
Yeah, really, really nice mix. Are you fishing this weekend?
No, obviously
that's
I've got
a pellet tip.
Sorry?
Is that tick in the box for the tip, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
pellet tip. Easy one.
Tick. So obviously I've got my gear back from Spain. It absolutely peed it down last day when we were there. So all my gear absolutely stinks.
Like pellets, yeah, it's nice. Not as nice as that super sweet.
I'll let you say that. So obviously all my kit's wet. I'm going to sort it all out, and then like you, Feeder Masters campaign starts.
Have you got JCB where I'm going?
Got JCB. I've got JCB.
Hopefully I'll have them in action.
Will you? Yeah. They'll be bang on for that.
I might just forget to take them in the office.
I don't know. Are they the rods Lee was using them?
Yeah, they're them.
Right. So we've got Feeder Masters, and then it's obviously the qualifiers start. There's Golden Reels. There's Fishermanias. So what we're going to do, fish a couple of matches. You're going to go to
New York.
Try and catch a carp out of Central Park.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And we'll catch everyone when you get back.
So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
See you later.